The night was silent, but the silence was heavy, like the world was holding its breath. The ruined city stretched out under the broken sky, its buildings cracked, its streets empty, its shadows deep. A lone human soldier walked slowly through the ruins, his steps uneven, his leg wounded, his armor scratched from battle. He had survived the alien ambush, but barely. His squad was gone. His radio was broken. And the only thing keeping him moving was the thought of finding shelter before the hunters returned. He pushed open the door of an old alien house, its walls marked with strange glowing lines, its air dusty and cold. Inside, it was quiet, too quiet. The soldier leaned against the wall, breathing hard, trying to stop the blood from running down his arm. That was when he heard it, a faint sound, like someone breathing, like a whisper in the dark. He lifted his weapon, his eyes scanning the shadows. Something moved behind a broken table, small, trembling, trying to hide. He stepped closer, and there she was, a tiny alien girl, her skin faintly green, her eyes bright like two silver moons, her white hair falling to her shoulders. She was no warrior, no soldier, just a child, weak and afraid. She looked at him, but she did not scream. She only stared, as if she had been waiting. The soldier lowered his weapon slowly. He could see she was hungry, her lips dry, her hands shaking. From his bag, he pulled out a small metal cup, poured the last of his rations into it. Simple milk, the kind humans carried to keep their strength. He placed the cup in front of her. The girl tilted her head, curious. Then she took the cup, looked into it, and suddenly she laughed. Her laugh was strange, too sharp, too knowing for someone so small. It echoed in the broken house, bouncing off the stone walls. The soldier frowned, confused. Why would a starving child laugh at milk? She looked up at him, her silver eyes glowing brighter now. Her voice was soft, but it carried weight, like a secret older than the ruins around them. "You gave me milk," she said. "Now you cannot leave." The soldier blinked, not sure. If he heard right, he thought she was just weak, maybe sick, maybe delirious. But when she set the cup down, the floor beneath them shifted. Glowing symbols lit up across the stone, spreading out from her feet like fire racing across dry grass. The soldier stepped back, heart racing. What was happening? The girl smiled, almost too calm. "Humans never learn," she whispered. "But you are different." The soldier raised his weapon again, his voice low. "What do you mean? What did I do?" She only laughed again, but this time it was not the laugh of a child. It was deeper, layered, like more than one voice speaking at the same time. She pointed at him with her small hand, her finger glowing faintly with green light. "You shared with me," she said, "and now the pact is sealed." The soldier felt the air grow colder. The walls of the house seemed to tremble. Outside, in the distance, he thought he heard a sound, the low hum of alien engines, searching, hunting. He realized he was trapped, not just by his wound, but by whatever this girl was. And yet, something in her eyes made him pause. She was not an enemy, not exactly. But she was not just a child either. The soldier swallowed hard, his grip tight on his weapon. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice rough. The girl tilted her head again, the way children do when they are about to share a secret. Her smile widened. Too calm for the danger outside. "I am the last key," she whispered. "And you just unlocked me." The soldier froze, his heart beating faster. He didn't know what she meant, but he could feel it. Something bigger than both of them had just begun. He looked at the glowing floor, at the strange marks crawling across the stone, and at the girl who seemed so fragile yet so powerful. The ruined city outside felt even more dangerous now. And for the first time since the battle, the soldier was not just afraid of his enemies. He was afraid of what sat in front. Of him, smiling like she knew his future. The night outside grew darker. The sound of alien engines moved closer, and the soldier realized one thing with certainty. His life was no longer his own. The ruined house stood silent, yet the silence was no comfort. The soldier's hand stayed tight on his weapon, his eyes fixed on the tiny alien girl. Her silver eyes glowed in the dark, reflecting the strange light of the floor symbols. Her laugh still echoed in his ears, too sharp, too strange, too powerful for such a small body. He had seen many things in the war. He had fought towering alien beasts, machines with blades for arms, soldiers who could breathe fire, but never had he met a child who laughed at milk, and never had he seen symbols awaken like fire just because a drink touched alien lips. The girl sat cross-legged on the cracked floor, her hair falling around her face. She did not seem afraid of him, or the engines outside, or even of the hunters searching the ruins. Instead, she smiled, as if she held a secret he could not understand. Her voice was soft when she spoke again, but her words felt heavy. "You gave me what no one else would, human. You gave me kindness." The soldier shook his head. He was tired, bleeding, and confused. He had not given her kindness, only milk. But something told him the milk was more than food. It was a symbol, a trigger. The ground trembled again, faint but enough to rattle dust from the ceiling. The soldier's instincts screamed danger. He stepped closer, crouched in front of the girl, and demanded in a low voice, "What did I unlock?" The girl tilted her head, her lips curling into that same sharp smile. "Laughter," she whispered. "My laughter is not just sound. It is a door." Then she laughed again. The sound rolled through the room like thunder, bouncing off the broken walls. It was layered, like dozens of voices trapped inside her body, speaking through her. The soldier felt the sound in his chest, in his bones. For a moment, he thought the walls were alive, shivering under the weight of her voice. He lifted his rifle, but his hands shook. He did not know if he should shoot her or protect her. Every instinct said she was dangerous, yet something deeper whispered she was more than danger. She was destiny. The light from the symbols spread farther, crawling up the walls. Strange alien runes burned into the stone, glowing green and white. The soldier realized with a chill that the house was not a house at all. It was a chamber, a prison, or maybe a shrine, and she was the key. Outside, the alien engines grew louder, closer. Heavy boots struck the broken streets. Soldiers searching. The soldier could hear their voices, metallic and harsh. He knew if they found him, he would not survive. In his current state, but worse. He knew they were not looking for him alone. They were looking for her. The girl seemed to sense his fear. She leaned forward, placing her small hand on his armored wrist. Her touch was cold, almost too cold. "Do not fear them," she whispered. "Fear me instead." Her words sent a shiver down his spine. He pulled back, glaring at her. "Why are they hunting you?" He demanded. "Why are you important?" Her eyes glimmered brighter. "Because I laugh?" she said simply. "They cannot laugh. Their kind forgot how centuries ago. But mine remember. And now, so will you." The soldier's breath caught in his throat. What did that mean? He had never thought of laughter as a weapon. But in that moment, hearing her voice, he understood. Her laugh was not joy, not play. It was power. The house shook harder now. The floor cracking, the ceiling splitting, dust and stone rained down. The girl stood up slowly, her small body glowing faintly like a lantern in the dark. Her laughter rose again, louder, deeper, impossible for lungs so small. The symbols on the walls blazed with light, filling the room with a blinding glow. The soldier covered his eyes, cursing under his breath, and then he heard something else. A sound beneath the laughter, a heartbeat, but not his, not hers. It was the heartbeat of something larger, buried under the ruins, something that was waking. The girl stopped laughing, the glow fading to a soft shimmer. She looked up at him with a smile that was not a child's smile. "It is awake now," she said calmly, "and you are bound to it." The soldier shook his head. "I don't even know what it is," he growled. But before she could answer, the sound of alien boots crashed at the door. The hunters had arrived. The soldier aimed his rifle. His body tense, his heart racing, he had no strength for a fight. Not in this state, not against a squad, but the girl's silver eyes glowed brighter. And she spoke with eerie calm. "They cannot kill you now, not while I laugh." The door exploded inward, metal shattering, dust filling the room. Dark armored figures stormed inside, weapons raised. The soldier pulled the trigger, gunfire echoing through the chamber. But above the roar of battle, above the screams of war, one sound cut through everything. The laughter of the tiny alien girl, and with that laugh, the ground split open, light bursting upward. Something beneath the ruins answered. The room shook as the ground split open, light rushing upward like fire from the earth. The alien hunters froze at the sight, their weapons still raised, but their steps faltering. The soldier braced himself against the wall, gripping his rifle with shaking hands, his eyes struggling to adjust to the blinding glow. And through it all, the girl laughed, her voice echoing in many tones, her tiny body glowing brighter than before. The hunters shouted in their harsh metallic language, their voices sharp with fear. They were no longer looking at the soldier. Their eyes were on the girl. The soldier realized something that made his blood run cold. The hunters were afraid of her. One of the aliens shouted a command, and weapons fired, bolts of green energy slicing the air. The soldier dove forward, shielding the girl with his body. The blast struck the wall behind them, tearing chunks of stone. He returned fire, each shot cracking through the smoke, dropping 2 hunters. But there were more, too many. And then the impossible happened. The girl raised her small hand, and the glowing cracks in the floor flared with her movement. The energy blasts froze midair, hanging like fireflies in the smoke. The hunters screamed, dropping their weapons, clutching their heads. The soldier stared in disbelief as the child's silver eyes blazed, her laughter filling the air again. The frozen bolts of energy turned back toward the hunters, slamming into their armored bodies, tearing them apart in a storm of green fire. The silence that followed was heavy and strange. The soldier's breath came in ragged gasps, his chest heaving. He turned to the girl, his voice hoarse. "What are you?" She looked at him with a smile too calm for a battlefield. "I told you," she said softly. "I am the key." The soldier's grip tightened on his rifle. "Key to what?" he demanded. Her silver eyes shimmered with something ancient, something older than the ruins. "To the pact," she whispered. "To the power my people locked away when they still ruled the stars." The soldier blinked, confusion twisting his mind. "Your people?" he asked. She nodded slowly. "My kind once laughed, sang, and built worlds across the galaxy. But we were betrayed, hunted, broken. My family is gone, my people scattered, and I am the last vessel, the last to carry the pact." Her words struck him harder than the battle itself. She was no ordinary child, no refugee. She was a weapon, a secret hidden in plain sight. And somehow he had awakened her. He swallowed hard, his voice low. "The milk. What did it do?" Her small smile returned, but this time it was sad. "The milk was nothing," she said. "It was you. It was your kindness. Humans still give when they have nothing left. That is why you woke me. Only a human could." The soldier felt a chill run through him. He had seen kindness used against humans in war. He had seen mercy turn to weakness. But this girl was saying the opposite, that kindness was power, and somehow it had tied him to her. The room rumbled again, the glowing cracks pulsing with life. The soldier looked down and realized the symbols were spreading beyond the house, through the streets, through the ruins, like veins of fire reaching outward. He turned back to her, his voice sharp. "What is happening?" She stood, her small frame outlined by the glow. "You unlocked the temple," she said. "Now it calls to me, but it also calls to them." As if on cue, a distant roar shook the night. Not the engines of alien hunters, but something deeper, something primal. The soldier's skin crawled at the sound. A girl's silver eyes narrowed. "They are coming," she whispered. "The guardians of the old world." The soldier staggered back, his heart racing. "Guardians? You mean more enemies?" She shook her head, her white hair glowing in the light. "Not enemies, not allies either. They are bound to protect the pact. They will kill anyone who is not chosen." Her words sent a cold wave of fear through him. If she was the chosen, what did that make him? Would the guardians see him as protector, or as prey? The soldier tightened his grip on his weapon, sweat dripping down his neck. He had survived battles, ambushes, and hopeless fights, but this was different. This was bigger than war, bigger than him, and yet he knew he couldn't leave her. The hunters outside had already proven that. The girl looked up at him, her silver eyes softer now, almost pleading. "You have to take me to the temple," she said. "If I stay here, they will come for me. If I fall into their hands, the galaxy burns." The soldier shook his head, his voice rough. "I'm no hero. I can barely stand." Her small hand touched his again, cold but steady. "You are all I have," she whispered, "and I am all you have left for a moment." The soldier felt something shift inside him. The war had taken his squad, his home, his hope, but now, in the ruins, this fragile, dangerous, impossible girl was looking at him like he mattered. And for the first time since the battle, he felt more than fear. He felt purpose outside. The sound of engines roared again, louder, closer. The ruins shook as heavy steps marched toward the glowing cracks. The guardians were waking. The soldier raised his rifle, forcing strength into his legs. "Fine," he growled. "I'll take you to your temple, but if you betray me." The girl only smiled, her silver eyes bright with secrets. "I won't betray you," she said softly, "because without you, I cannot survive." The walls shuddered, dust raining from the ceiling. The roar outside grew deafening, and the soldier realized their time had run out. Whatever the guardians were, they were already here. The ground shook as if a giant heartbeat echoed beneath the ruins. The soldier stood with his rifle ready, sweat dripping down his forehead. The alien girl stayed close, her silver eyes glowing faint in the dark. Every second felt stretched, heavy, filled with sounds of engines and the distant roar of something far larger than machines. Then the hunters came. Dark armored figures burst through the broken streets, their glowing rifles raised, their sharp voices shouting commands. There were more this time, dozens, moving with cold precision, their heavy boots shaking the stone. The soldier's chest tightened, his grip firm. He had fought squads before, but never this many, never with his body so broken. The girl did not move. Her small frame seemed calm, almost too calm. Her hair glowed faintly under the light of the burning symbols spreading across the ground. She looked at the soldier and whispered, "They don't fear you. They fear me." The words chilled him, but he did not argue. He knew it was true. The hunters were aiming not at him, but at her. Every barrel pointed at the tiny figure by his side. One of the hunters shouted in their metallic tone. The soldier didn't need to understand the words. He could feel the meaning. Hand her over or die. He lifted his rifle instead. Not happening. He growled under his breath. The first shots ripped the air, green fire streaking across the ruins. The soldier fired back, dropping two before the others fanned out. Energy blasts struck the walls. The floor, sending stone shards flying. The girl stood in the middle of it all, her silver eyes glowing brighter, her laughter rising again. The sound bent the air, shaking the hunters' helmets, forcing some to stagger. The soldier fought with everything he had. His rifle cracked again and again, each shot precise, each step desperate. But there were too many. One hunter lunged close, a blade sparking with energy. The soldier blocked, slammed his weapon stock into the alien's chest, and fired point blank. The body fell smoking, but 3 more took its place. Then the ground split wider. A roar shook the night, so deep it rattled bones. The hunters froze, their weapons trembling in their hands. The soldier turned, his stomach twisting. From the glowing cracks in the earth, something rose. It was massive. A creature of stone and metal, its body carved with glowing runes. Its face was not a face, but a mask of shifting light. Its arms were like pillars, its hands shaped into claws of stone. Its voice was the roar of the earth itself. The guardians had awakened. The hunters panicked, shouting, firing at the giant creature, but their shots sparked uselessly against its body. The guardian's claw swept through them, crushing armor. Like paper, the soldier staggered back, shielding the girl. He had thought the hunters were his doom, but now this thing made them look like ants. The girl's silver eyes narrowed. "They will not stop," she whispered. "They protect the pact. They will kill us both if you do not move." The soldier's heart pounded. "How do we stop it?" He shouted, firing at a hunter that tried to flank them. The girl shook her head, her voice calm, even in the chaos. "You cannot stop it. You can only guide it. But it will only listen if you trust me." The guardian's steps shook the ruins, each one breaking stone, its glowing mask turned toward them. The soldier felt his chest tighten. He could almost feel the weight of its gaze. Like a mountain pressing down on him, the hunters regrouped, trying to surround both the soldier and the girl. Caught between armored soldiers and a stone giant, he realized there was no winning this fight. The girl tugged his hand, her voice sharp now. "Take me to the temple. If we reach it, I can call them off." The soldier cursed under his breath, firing another burst to cover their movement. "Where is it?" he demanded. She pointed toward the hills beyond the ruins, faint shapes rising in the dark. "There," she said, "the temple of the pact. We must reach it before the guardians consume everything." The guardian roared again, swinging its massive arm. Stone shattered, hunters screamed, bodies thrown like dolls. But with every strike, the glowing cracks spread wider. The whole city was breaking apart. The soldier grabbed the girl's hand and pulled her toward the broken street. Blasts scorched the ground at their feet, hunters chasing them. Behind them, the guardian crushed everything in its path, its steps shaking the world. The soldier's lungs burned. His legs screamed with pain, but he kept moving. The girl ran beside him, her glowing hair like a trail of light in the dark. The temple loomed ahead, jagged ruins rising against the sky. And for a brief moment, hope stirred in his chest. But then another roar answered. The ground cracked open on the far side of the ruins, and a second guardian began to rise, twice as large, its runes burning red instead of green. The soldier froze, his breath caught. One guardian was death enough. 2 meant the end. The girl's grip tightened on his hand, her silver eyes wide now. "They should not both be awake," she whispered, fear in her voice for the first time. "If the red one rises fully, it will destroy everything, even me." The soldier swallowed hard. He was out of bullets, out of strength, and out of time. And yet, with the girl's hand in his, he knew there was no turning back, only forward, into the temple, into the unknown. Behind them, the hunters regrouped, weapons raised again. In front of them, the guardians roared, their glowing eyes locking on the soldier and the girl. The ruins shook, the night burned with green and red light, and the soldier realized this fight was no longer about survival. It was about destiny, his and hers. The ruins trembled as the second guardian rose. Its body burned with red fire, hotter, more violent than the first. The soldier's knees almost gave way at the sight. The two giants stood like living mountains, green and red light spilling across the broken city. The hunters scattered. Some kept shooting, but most fled into the dark, their courage shattered. Their armored bodies looked like insects in front of the towering guardians. But the soldier did not feel safe. The girl's hand in his trembled now. For the first time, we must reach the temple, she whispered sharply. Her glowing hair whipped in the wind as cracks spread across the ground. Only there can I call the oath. Only there will they hear me. The soldier tightened his grip on his rifle. Though he had little ammo left, his body screamed with pain. His lungs burned, but he forced himself forward, pulling her through the falling stone. Behind them, the guardians roared, their voices shaking the air like thunder. They ran, stumbling. Over shattered streets, the temple rose ahead, its jagged pillars reaching like broken fingers into the sky. Symbols burned faintly on its walls. Older than time, the soldier had seen alien ruins before, but never like this. This place felt alive, as if it was waiting for them. When they reached the steps, the soldier collapsed to one knee, gasping. Blood dripped from a wound on his shoulder. He pressed it. Gritting his teeth, the girl turned to him, her silver eyes glowing brighter than ever. You must keep moving. If you stop now, you will never rise again. He forced himself up, leaning on his rifle like a crutch. Together they climbed the steps. Behind them, the red guardian's roar split the sky. The green one answered, and the ground between them cracked wider. Lava glowed beneath. The whole city was falling into fire. Inside the temple, the air was colder. Columns stood tall, carved with swirling lines of light. At the center lay a circle of stone, symbols. Burning faintly across its surface, the girl pulled free of his hand and walked to it. She looked impossibly small against the vast chamber, yet her voice filled it, calm but sharp. The oath must be called, she said, but only with you. The soldier frowned, his breath heavy. Me? Why me? He asked. Her eyes met his, silver burning bright. Because you gave me milk. Because you gave without demand. That is the mark. He shook his head, sweat dripping. That was nothing, he muttered, but deep inside, something told him it was not nothing at all. The girl knelt at the circle, pressing her small hands against the glowing stone. The light flared, burning white. The temple shook, dust falling from its roof. The soldier shielded his eyes. When he looked again, the girl was different. Her body shimmered, her skin glowing faint like silver metal. Her hair burned brighter, her small frame now outlined with streams of light. She looked both child and ancient, a being not made of flesh alone. The soldier froze, his chest tightening. The girl's laughter had been strange before, but now it was something else. She was not just a child, not even just an alien. She was a key. Her voice echoed across the chamber, layered, as if many spoke through her. The oath is broken. The pact is undone. The guardians wake because of me. The soldier felt his throat go dry. What are you? He whispered. She turned, her glowing eyes piercing him. I am the last daughter of the pact, the one who carries the sin, and now you are bound to me. The soldier staggered back. What does that mean? He demanded, but before she could answer, the temple shook violently. The guardians were close, their glowing forms seen through the cracks in the walls. The red light burned hotter, pressing against the temple's edge. The girl raised her glowing hands higher. The stone circle pulsed, and the symbols burned into the soldier's skin. He screamed, falling to one knee, pain cutting through his body like fire. He looked at his arms. Lines of light had etched themselves into him, glowing blue against his flesh. What did you do to me? He gasped. Her silver eyes softened. but her voice was sharp. "I gave you the mark. Without it, they would kill you. With it, they will obey, or they will destroy us both trying." The chamber doors exploded inward. Hunters poured in, desperate, firing wildly. Their shots struck the walls, sending sparks flying. The soldier lifted his rifle, but the girl raised her hand. Her voice boomed, shaking the air. "Stop!" The hunters froze. For a moment, their bodies trembled, their rifles lowered against their will. The soldier's eyes widened. She had stopped them with nothing but her voice. But before relief could come, the temple split, stone cracked, and one massive claw broke through the wall. The Red Guardian was here. Its mask of fire burned through the smoke. Its roar drowned everything, shaking the temple to its core. The girl turned to the soldier. Her silver eyes burned like stars. "Now you must choose," she said, her voice breaking with power. "Bind them or be broken by them." The soldier's hands shook, his chest tight. The glowing symbols on his skin pulsed in time with the Guardian's steps. He felt something ancient pressing into his mind. A choice, to command or to die. The Red Guardian's claw reached through. The green one roared back, the temple crumbling. Around them, the soldier stood between them, the girl's glowing hand gripping his. Her voice echoed again, desperate now. "Choose." The world shook. The light burned his eyes, and he opened his mouth. The soldier's body burned with light. Symbols glowed on his arms, his chest, even his face. The pain was sharp, but also strange. It felt as if the ruins themselves were inside. His veins, the girl's hand gripped his tightly, her silver eyes locked on his. "Command them," she said, her voice shaking the air. "Speak, and they will hear. Speak, or we both die." The temple trembled. The Red Guardian forced its claw deeper through the wall, stone exploding under its weight. The Green Guardian roared from outside, its glowing body pressing against the other side. The hunters fled in panic, their courage broken by the sight of two titans. But the soldier could not flee. He stood caught between gods. His throat was dry, his chest tight. He had commanded soldiers before, men of flesh and blood. But this was something else. How could he give orders to monsters of stone and fire? His mind screamed run, but his body knew there was nowhere to go. The girl's voice cut through his fear. "You carry the mark now. The Guardians will listen only to you, but they will also test you. If you show weakness, they will tear you apart." The soldier clenched his teeth. He had been broken before. He had been mocked, beaten, and left for dead, but he had never once bowed. Not to man, not to alien, and he would not bow now. He lifted his head, his voice raw but strong. "Stand down," he shouted, his voice echoing against the walls. For a moment, the Guardians froze. The red claw stopped. The green light flickered. The soldier felt the mark on his skin pulse, answering his command. But then the Red Guardian roared. The sound shattered stone, shook the floor beneath his feet. Its mask of fire leaned closer, its burning eyes fixed on him. The Green Guardian stepped forward as well. The air grew so hot the soldier could barely breathe. They were listening, but they were not obeying. The girl's grip tightened, her voice sharp, stronger. "You must bind them. You must show them you are their master, or they will destroy us." The soldier's heart thundered. He could feel something pressing into his mind, a weight like mountains. The Guardians were not just looking at him. They were inside him, testing, pulling. He felt visions flashing his skull. Endless wars, broken worlds, fire consuming everything. The Guardians had seen it all, and now they wanted to know if he was worthy. He dropped to his knees, his head pounding. The girl's silver glow flared, trying to shield him, but she could not stop there. Test, this was his alone. The soldier grit his teeth, forcing words out. "You will obey me," he growled. By my blood, by my pain, you'll obey. The marks on his skin flared brighter. Blue fire streaked through the temple walls. The guardians roared again, their bodies shuddering as if in struggle. The ground split wider, lava rising beneath them. The soldier screamed, feeling his very soul being ripped apart, yet he did not break. He would not. Finally, the red guardian froze. Its burning mask lowered slightly. The green guardian bowed its head. For the first time, silence fell. The soldier's breath came in ragged gasps, his body trembling. He had done it. They listened. The girl's voice was soft now, almost reverent. You bound them, she whispered. You did what no other has done since the pact was broken. The soldier staggered, his body barely able to stand. Then, call them off. End this, he rasped, but the girl's silver eyes filled with sorrow. It is not so simple. To bind them is to carry their weight. You are no longer only yourself. You are their voice. The soldier's chest tightened. What does that mean? He asked, his voice low. Her answer was heavy, final. It means you are no longer free. The words hit him harder than any wound. He looked at his glowing arms, the burning marks across his skin. The guardians stood silent now, waiting, and he knew they would wait forever, for his commands, for his choices. Until the end of his life, before he could speak, the temple walls cracked again. A shockwave tore through the chamber. From the shadows of the broken city, new shapes emerged, not hunters, not guardians, but ships descending fast, their engines screaming, dozens of them, black and sharp, covering the sky. The girl's face turned pale, her silver light dimming. They found us, she whispered. The soldier raised his rifle out of instinct, though it felt useless against the swarm. Who? He asked. Her voice shook with a mix of fear and rage. The ones who broke the pact, the ones who want me dead. They will not stop until the mark is theirs. The ships landed hard, the ground splitting under their weight. Armored figures poured out, far larger than hunters, their weapons glowing red. Their leader stepped forward, a towering alien draped in black armor, its voice deep and cruel. So, the last child and her human pet, it snarled. You bound the guardians. Good. Now we will take them from you. The soldier lifted his rifle, his hands shaking. The girl stood beside him, silver light burning once more. The guardians roared outside, shaking the ruins, and for a single moment, man, child, and gods stood side by side, facing an enemy that wanted them all. The alien leader raised its blade. Kill the human, it ordered. Take the girl alive. The soldier's heart pounded. The guardians waited, silent. The girl's hand tightened on his. You cannot fight them all, she whispered. But if you command the guardians now, blood will cover this world. The soldier looked at her, then at the glowing giants. The choice was before him again. Unleash destruction, or be destroyed. His lips parted, his voice ready. The alien leader's voice echoed across the broken temple. Kill the human. Take the girl alive. The soldier's heart pounded like a drum. His rifle felt small, useless. Dozens of armored giants closed in, weapons glowing red with heat. Behind them, the sky burned with ships hovering low, their engines screaming like predators. But the guardians stood silent. Their massive bodies glowed with green and red fire, waiting for his word. The girl's silver eyes locked on his. Desperate but steady, they are yours now, she whispered. One command, and they will tear the world apart. The soldier's throat tightened. He had bound them, yes, but to unleash them now. The city was already breaking. If he gave the order, nothing would survive, not the enemy, not him, maybe not even her. The alien warriors moved closer. Their leader's blade hummed with burning light. It pointed at him. You are nothing. Before this mark, a broken soldier, a failure of your kind, it sneered. Now you pretend to be their master. But power will eat you alive, human, just like it ate us. The soldier's grip tightened on his rifle. He had been mocked his whole life, by enemies, by comrades, even by fate, and yet he still stood, still fought, still bled. He raised his voice raw and sharp. Guardians, defend. The temple shook as the green giant roared. Its massive claw slammed into the alien ranks, crushing them like toys. The red guardian followed, fire spilling from its runes as it swept entire squads aside. The ground split wider, glowing with molten fire. Screams filled the air as alien ships opened fire, but their blasts sparked uselessly against the stone monsters. The soldier staggered back as the battle exploded around him. The guardians fought like storms. Every strike split stone. Every roar burned the air. Alien soldiers were tossed like rag dolls, their ships torn from the sky by massive claws. The earth itself seemed to obey the guardians, shaking, splitting, swallowing the enemy whole. Yet the alien leader did not run. It charged forward, blade glowing hotter, eyes burning with rage. It leapt, faster than its size should allow. Soldier raised his rifle, firing, but the shot sparked off its armor, useless. The blade came down. The girl stepped between them, her small body glowing silver. The strike stopped an inch from her. A shield of light burst out, throwing the alien leader back. She turned, her silver eyes blazing. "Stay with me," she whispered to the soldier. "Do not break now." Her glow spread, silver tendrils wrapping around the marks on his skin. The pain in his body burned hotter, but with it came strength. His limbs steadied, his breath grew stronger, and when the alien leader rose again, the soldier didn't flinch. The enemy roared, "You think a human can hold the pact? You think you can carry what broke empires?" The soldier raised his glowing arms, blue fire burning in his veins. "I don't think," he growled. "I know." He rushed forward, faster than he had ever moved. The alien's blade swung wide, but the soldier caught it in his glowing hands. The energy burned his flesh, but the marks absorbed it. He twisted, slammed his rifle stock into the alien's jaw, and fired point blank. The shot cracked through its armor, sending it crashing to the ground. The guardians roared in answer, their bodies blazing brighter. The alien army broke, screaming, fleeing. To their ships, the temple walls collapsed as fire and stone swallowed the battlefield. But still the leader rose, its armor shattered, but its rage unbroken. It staggered toward the soldier and the girl, its voice a growl. "You cannot hold. Forever, human. The guardians will consume you, and when they do, she will die with you." The soldier stood over it, his chest heaving. The girl's hand gripped his tightly, silver light weaving with his blue. He looked down at the broken alien and spoke low. "Maybe, but not today." He raised his rifle, ready to finish it. But the ground beneath them split wider. A new roar shook the sky, deeper than the guardians. The girl's silver eyes widened with fear. "No, not that one," she whispered, her voice trembling. They woke the third. From the abyss below, fire erupted. A shadow rose larger than both guardians combined. Its runes burned black. Its body twisted with smoke and molten stone. It was not protector, not balance. It was destruction, pure and endless. The soldier froze, his heart pounding. The guardians turned toward it, but even they trembled. The girl's grip tightened, her silver light dimming under the shadow. This was never meant to wake, she whispered, tears in her glowing eyes. If it rises fully, there will be no world left. The alien leader laughed weakly, broken but cruel. You bound yourself to them, human, and now you are chained to doom. The soldier's lungs burned. He looked at the girl, her tiny frame glowing like a star. Against the dark, he looked at the guardians, waiting for his command, and then at the rising shadow, the third, the destroyer. His voice cracked, but it was steady. Then I'll stop it, he said, even if it kills me. The temple collapsed around them. The third guardian roared, black fire spilling across the ruins. The girl's silver glow wrapped around the soldier, her voice soft but fierce. Then I will stand with you. The world shook as gods and armies prepared to clash, and the soldier, once broken and forgotten, stood at the center of it all, a last command waiting on his lips.